Okay, here's an updated review on the pool robot. So we've ran this thing 6 or 7 times in the pool. We actually ran it 2 days ago, and we're running it today. The pool, you can see it has some sand and the dirt that settled down in the bottom. When we put the pool in, we got sand around the outside edges. Of course, we're out here kind of out in the country, and the wind blows in the dust, and it's Texas. So when it rains mud a lot. But anyway, the pool had some weeds and stuff at the bottom of it, and this thing has done a tremendous job. So you can see a few spots it's missed. It's still working on it. We have found with this rectangular pool that all cover mode works pretty good. The robot doesn't get trapped in the corners nearly as often. Once in a while, when I have it on floor mode, I might have to run it some more. But when I run it on floor only mode, sometimes it gets trapped in the corner and you gotta go give it some help. But there's some things I like about it, some things I don't. I wish it would go all the way across the pool before it turns around, but it does. It kind of steps in and steps out, so it'll back up the wall. This one's been in here for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half now, so it might be getting a little bit tired. But it will go back and forth, but it doesn't go out far enough. And then sometimes it kind of does what it's doing now. It has to figure out which direction it's going to go, and that's going to back up. Let's see if it goes all the way up the wall. It is not. So it must have felt like it did the whole wall. I'm not exactly sure how the program works yet. I usually throw it in here and let it do its thing, and sometimes I'll see some random marks where it go clear across the pool, but a lot of times it just does what it's doing now, and it just kind of goes back and forth. But I really haven't watched the whole program, even though I've ran it in here several times. But as far as the job it does a really good job. This above ground pool, we added a skimmer. I don't know if we can get it in the video over here or not, but we put a skimmer in right here, and it does a really good job. And we've got a sand, I almost dropped my phone in the pool. We've got a sand filter, and it does a really good job. So we put this in late in the summer. It was almost fall. We got to swim in it, a dozen times or so, and then we put a net on it instead of a cover, even though we have a cover for it, and it caught most of the leaves. And this thing's done a pretty good job of collecting the stuff that's settled in the bottom, and the filter's done a pretty good job of doing the rest. Our biggest concern with the pool was when it got cold. We kind of halfway insulated the filter and the pipes, and obviously we let it run, and I put some heat tape on it. But now I'm building a cover. It's actually we're gonna make it where we can walk on it, and a cabinet for the front. And then in the wintertime we will put our insulation on and obviously let it run, and we won't have to sweat it nearly as much. But anyway, going back to the pool robot, it was $300 something on Amazon. In my previous videos, I had all the numbers and the names and all that stuff. I probably had the price wrong, but it runs about 2 to 3 hours on a charge, and we're running it on all mode. And we have to learn some more about it as it goes. But really happy with the job. I'm not really familiar with pools and all the different kind of pool vacuums and all that stuff. I know my wife says she's going to hook the manual vacuum up to the suction line and start running it as soon as the water's warm enough to get into. I think the water's in the mid-60s now. So anyway, update on the robot. It seems to be doing a good job. It seems to be very durable. When we clean it out, it's got sand, various kind of branches and trees and leaves and stuff inside of it, and a few bugs that have settled down to the bottom. So I did read that some people felt like that the microns were too coarse and it was letting too much silt through it. But when we started this thing, the whole pool was around the bottom from silt, and you can see it's almost clean. So we'll run it. We're going to keep running it every other day or so until we get this thing whipped into shape, and then when the water's warm enough, we will get in and do it. But it really scrubbed the sides. I mean, I'm really happy with the sides of the pool, because it had bug schmagma and all kinds of, I don't even know what was up on there on the edges, and it cleaned it up and did a really good job.